What's up guys, Zenigami here, and let's go through the Chaos difficulty Kinemon Coliseum Neo fight on the Japanese version of One Piece Characters. Or I would say the Chaos difficulty, but we're actually going to do the 30 stamina, which is not the Chaos difficulty fight. But big thing about this is that the 30 stamina is so much easier than all the other versions that you could use a much easier team. It's still Powerhouse, Striker, and Free Spirit restricted, so 5+ Luffy Time Skip Luffy or a Lucy Friend Captain team, both of those work great. And it's like, oh my goodness, it is so much easier than trying to do any of the 50 stamina ones. So if you're not aware, you can actually do these fights. These fights are no longer time restricted. You are now only limited to how many runs you actually do. So you're limited to 7 runs of each of the different versions a day, so you're limited to 7 Strikers, 7 Powerhouse, 7 Free Spirit runs. And you can use any combination of those characters. Like I am using Kuma, who is a Powerhouse character. The rest of my characters are Free Spirit. With a Lucy Friend Captain, remember you just need to bring red, green, and blue characters, and you're basically done. The only suggestion that I really say what you would need to do on these teams is use a Kuma if you want to have a really easy time. Because when you get to Croc on stage 3, you don't need to use any specials against any different stage 3s. On stage 4 versus Croc, you use Kuma, you instantly kill Kuma. And on stage 5, you use whatever strikers, whatever specials you have left, and you beat the stage. You're good to go. At least that's with a Lucy Friend Captain. Very easy. And look how easy this stalling is. We are basically done. I don't want to wait for specials anymore. So on here, stage 3, you're gonna get one of the mini boss stages. They each don't really have they don't have a worrying amount of health at all. If you get Ricky will silence your red, green, and blue characters, but only for 3 turns, so it's not really dangerous. You can use 5+ Luffy to delay any of those stages if you like. Let's hit a great. And let's kill bitches. Awesome blossom. Like I said, the only special we need later on is Kuma. And for Croc, we're going to be using Kuma Special. Give us all matching orbs and boost our orbs. And the reason we have Giola here is because Giola will help manipulate our orbs, because Kinemon will change his color every turn. That's not really anything to worry about. He'll also cut our health as a preemptive attack. He only has 2 billion hit points. Giola is just to give us some better orbs this turn. And thanks to Lucy's Sailor ability, or Captain ability, that basically works like a Sailor ability, we should have a lot of orbs. If you have Lucy Special there, you use Lucy Special and you'll be able to kill Kinemon in a single turn. But I think this will take me 2 turns to kill him. Yeah, I need that Lucy Special to just push me a wee bit over. Yeah, well, like we need it anyways. The drop rate on the 30 stamina here is not too bad. It's maybe like a 40% drop rate, so you should get it a little bit less than half the time. This Neo Kinemon has the same captain ability as regular Kinemon. He's still a Free Spirit slasher character. He's now yellow, but his special ability, the big difference about him, same sockets, same captain ability. Special ability, however, now will always give you matching orbs into adjacent, whereas regular Kinemon does only adjacent orbs above 70% health. Neo Kinemon now does adjacent orbs no matter what health you are at. I've been Zenigami. More teams right after this. Y'all stay beautiful.
On the Powerhouse version of Kinemon, he's going to paralyze and silence both our captains for 3 turns, and you gotta be very careful for that. So on stage 3, I also want to note that for each of the neophytes, the stage 3 is always going to be the same. For example, for the Powerhouse version, it's always going to be Speed Jill, so you always know what stage 3 you're going to get. We're going to be using a double Sanji team. We're going to be using a Raid Boss Sanji as our captain and a Legend Sanji as our friend captain. Coliseum Chinjiao You don't need too many skill ups on Coliseum Chinjiao. You can get away with a very, very low skill down Coliseum Chinjiao. But a higher the cooldown, the faster you can actually do the run. And spend some time stalling on this first stage. We're really going to be looking for the Whitebeard, your Adventure Mode Whitebeard special. Adventure Mode Whitebeard is going to be a very, very, very useful for both Powerhouse and the Striker versions of Kinemon Coliseum. Because for stage 3 with Speed Jill, we're going to be using Adventure Mode Whitebeard, who will kill all the fighting units around Speed Jill. And then we can attack and hit one good, which will make us lose the attack boost of our Sanji captain, because Sanji, if you don't know what his captain does, Raid Boss Sanji's captain ability will boost your attack until you miss a perfect. So if you hit a good, a great, a miss, anything that's not a perfect, then you'll lose your attack boost. So we're going to be hitting a good, we'll lose that attack boost, but don't forget that Whitebeard will also be boosting your boosting your damage, so that way you can get a little bit more damage and actually kill Speed Jill without taking any hits. Then on Croc is going to give us all empty orbs and lower our attack for 2 turns, so we're going to pass 2 turns versus Croc, and then we're going to be using either Kuma or Fujitora, and then we're going to be bursting on the final stage. Stage 2, just a bunch of dinos, just the usual stuff, stall out some turns. If you don't have the Rocket Man ship, you can always use the Zunisha ship also. Zunisha ship also works really, really well, makes perfects easier to hit, which does help a lot with your Raid Boss Sanji, because if you miss a perfect, you do lose a lot of damage. So having a Zunisha ship that makes perfects easier to hit is very helpful. We will also be jumping our Sanji on the turn that we kill Croc, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So Speed Jill, 300,000 hit points. Everybody has a good hit barrier. He will hit you twice as a preemptive attack for a total of 5,500 damage or so. So use Whitebeard special, kills all the dudes. Then we hit one good. Then we hit the rest of our attacks. Whitebeard will be boosting his own attack because they have a barrier. And so we end on a Whitebeard, and that kills Speed Jill in a single turn. And Croc has 2.125 million hit points. He will prevent debuffs. He'll lower our attack by 70% for 2 turns and give us all empty orbs. So we're basically not going to be doing any damage for 2 turns. Might as well hit our attacks though. It's not like we're going to be doing anything else. And it makes that burst turn later on much easier. But generally, we're not going to have any problems with the burst unless you get in a lot of trouble. So here on Croc, we're going to be taking another attack. On this second turn, now that we know what our orbs are, it's actually better for you to just look for some better orbs. Ideally, you want to use Kuma here, and then use Fujitora on the next turn. So I'm keeping that tandem orb on Kuma. We got a matching orb there. If you have to, you can use Fujitora here, but our damage is actually going to be really, really close on the next stage, so we want that little bit of extra damage that Fujitora gives us just from his active on his special ability. So we're going to jump our friend Sanji, and then we're going to hit our perfects to kill the Croc. With 2 matching orbs, 2 strength matching orbs, it's going to be a very easy kill. If you have at least 1 strength matching orb, that is depends on what your other orbs are, should be good enough. And against Kinemon, Kinemon has 5 million hit points. He will cut our health by half. He'll give us Psi, Tandem, and Recovery orbs, and he'll paralyze our captains. But since our friend Sanji is in the air, he will dodge that damage. Start with your Chinjiao to get that health cut and reduce our damage. Then use your Kinemon, your Fujitora, or your Kuma, whichever one you didn't use on the previous stage. Then use your Sanji, then use your Rocket Man ship for that tiny little bit of extra damage, because this is going to be a very close call. Do not start your attack on your Sanji, because if that Sanji gets paralyzed and you lose all your damage for that turn, and that is a game over. End on your Sanji in the air, and that should do just enough damage to kill him with that health cut. And don't forget that when he dies, he will do 23 million damage upon death, so that's what we use our Chinjiao for. For the Free Spirit version of Kinemon, we're actually going to be using a Free Spirit zombie team. Your friend captain here can be basically anything. I actually would, after doing this once, recommend using something like Dex Sabo as a friend captain, because that Dex Sabo active ability will be faster than the Time Skip Luffy, and you actually don't really need to stall much. We will be stalling for Dex Sabo special before we get to Doc Q, because Doc Q, whenever he starts attacking on turn 4, actually attacks twice with that extra million damage after his regular attack. So Doc Q will kill you on the 6th turn if you don't have your specials ready. So make sure you're able to kill .Q before turn 6. Turn 1, turn 2 though, we don't really need to stall. Just make sure you don't die to 2 attacks. If you're using a friend Sabo, that is more than enough damage from your team. You should be very easily keeping up with the damage. Here's .Q. A single Sabo active is enough to kill him. You don't have to use multiple actives here. Like, you don't need to use that health cut. Just use a single Sabo special and save your health cuts for Croc, because Croc is where we're actually going to be spending a lot of time stalling and actually punching his face. So after you get past .Q, congratulations, you've won. All you have to do now is beat the stage. Very important to note that since the Kinemon Coliseum now limits you to 7 runs per day, you're not actually limited by time, you're only limited by runs and patience. So it only comes down to how many, or you're only limited to 7 runs, so you can spend a zombie team without having to worry about, well, if I use a zombie team, I only get 2 runs in because it takes so long. It will take you longer, but at least it's a very, very safe team to do. This team is very, very safe, very, very easy. Just got to end up stalling a lot. And if with a friend Sabo, you'll be able to get Sabo's active more often to do more damage than a Timeskip Luffy friend. That Timeskip Luffy friend doesn't really pan out as well. Lucy Coliseum, of course, is a health cut. So is Duval, and so is Mihawk. All health cutting specials. Makes fighting bosses much easier. And Kinemon still enrages below 50%. Still changes colors every turn. Dies. When he dies, he revives up to 700,000 hit points. But then you just kill him again. And on the striker version of Kinemon, we're going to be using a Shirahoshi and Adventure Whitebeard team. Now, Shirahoshi and Adventure Whitebeard may not seem like a team that works really well, because Shirahoshi heals you every turn, and Whitebeard is a legendary Croc captain ability where the higher his attack, the lower your damages, and the higher your health, the lower your damage, and the lower your health, the higher your damage. Which doesn't really work well with a friend captain that heals you every single turn. But the reason we want to use Adventure Mode Whitebeard instead of something like Raid Boss Virgo is because we do need that extra damage whenever we do get to low health. Because Whitebeard will have a higher damage boost. It's around 3 times attack boost once fully limit broken, compared to Virgo, which is only a 2.5 times attack boost, and that is going to make a big difference to whether or not you can burst Kinemon, because you do have to do a lot of damage to him. Now, these early stages, we can stall for a long time. We really only need to use one special whenever we get to stage 3 Ricky. I'm going to be using my Aokiji special. You can also use whatever special that gives you a little damage, Virgo special, whatever. I will suggest getting Ricky below 50% and leaving him alive, because what Ricky does below 50% is he is going to... Actually, you can't use your Virgo. I'm sorry, Virgo's Dex. You can't use red or green specials, because Ricky will silence you for 10 turns. So Ricky will cut your health, silence your red and green characters for 10 turns, and once he's below 50%, he will get a healing buff that lasts on his entire team. So, get Ricky below 50%, have him put up that healing buff, and that way you can stall forever on one of the fodder units. And you can get there, and you don't need to stall this much early on, since you can stall forever on one of the fodder units. Since he heals every single turn, just keep attacking with like Alvida or Shirahoshi, somebody with low attacks, that way it doesn't kill that fodder unit. And then once all your specials are ready, you can go on to Croc. You'll go into Croc with full health. He will prevent Diva, shuffle orbs. And most important very important to note about the striker version is that whenever he shuffles our orbs, he actually won't be giving us empty orbs. He'll just be a regular shuffle. So later on, you'll see us using a double Nekomamushi team, which actually works really well versus Croc since it doesn't give empty orbs. Thank you, Bandai, for remembering that. Nekomamushi doesn't like having empty orbs. Remember that Shirahoshi basically doesn't really boost her own attack, so you never want to end on your Shirahoshi. You always basically want to attack with your Shirahoshi first if you're doing a damage turn. If you want to stall, though, Shirahoshi does reduce damage whenever she does an attack, so skip Shirahoshi's attack if you want to stall for damage instead. So here's that silence I talked about. There's that health cut. I'm going using the Aokiji special just to boost my damage to make things a little bit easier. Kill a bunch of the fodder units. and then leave that Ricky alive. Ricky does only have 300,000 hit points, which isn't too high, but with a team, whenever you're at high health here with your Whitebeard and with a Shirahoshi friend captain, it doesn't really do that much damage. So there's that health buff up. We still have another turn of boost thanks to Aokiji. Kill the other fodder units, leave one guy alive, and then you can stall here for literally as long as you like, because you can't kill him if you attack with one character, and he can't kill you because you will heal every single turn. Now I am using the Whitebeard ship. You can also use the Aokiji bike. The Whitebeard ship though is nicer because even though you have less health, you will be able to get recovery orbs more often, which we will be needing recovery orbs whenever we get over to Kinemon to help us look for some matching orbs, because we don't really have a good orb manipulator on this team. So Croc has 2.125 million hit points. He will prevent debuffs, he'll shuffle our orbs, and he attacks every turn for 10,000 damage. On turn 2, he'll boost his attack and start attacking us for more damage. So we're actually going to be taking hits here so that we can get our health lower. We need our health lower so that we can burst him past that 50%. So here we just want to do as much damage as we can. You can attack with Shirahoshi or not attack with Shirahoshi depending on how much health you have and how low you want your health to get. I find that letting him attack through Shirahoshi barrier, like after attacking with Shirahoshi for a few turns, does help out more. And getting some recovery orbs is nice too, because even though we want our health low, we don't really need our health that low. Getting your health below 50% is about what you need to do. If you have your health below 50%, then Whitebeard's captain ability will be enough, so that way when you use your Virgo and your Nekomamushi specials here, you will have all matching orbs and boost those orbs, and you'll be able to kill Croc without too much issue. So here I'm only at maybe 25% health, so I'll be able to kill him very, very easily. Depending on what your team is and how you're doing it, you actually might be able to burst him with more health, which will be a lot easier for Kinemon. Kinemon will preemptively cut your health by 50%. He has 3.2 million hit points. He attacks every turn for 8,250 damage, and every turn he will change color. So here you want to start healing up whenever possible, and you want to leave Shirahoshi to reduce that damage you take by 10%, because that is going to start stacking up. We're going to be chipping away at his health pretty slowly. He's going to be shuffling his orbs every turn. We want to have Nekomamushi special ready again after the revive, or at least whenever we're ready to burst after the revive. So you want to kill him when your Nekomamushi is 3 turns at least. So that way Nekomamushi will be ready whenever you burst. Whenever your health gets really low, you can use Alvita for some extra damage reduction. Shirahoshi special is, we're going to say that for after the revive, very, very important. You can also use Shirahoshi here and then one Alvita special after revive, but you have to pay very close attention to how much health you have, because you're going to need Alvita plus Shirahoshi, or Shirahoshi twice, or 2 turns with Shirahoshi after the revive. So don't forget that with Kinemon, you can reset, like you can exit out of the game, come back in and say, would you like to continue stage, and click yes if you get a bad color. So here he's green. I'm going to be using the Aokiji special, Whitebeard special. I want him to be green or yellow when I burst. Don't forget that Whitebeard also gives you a matching orb on himself. Remember to use Aokiji. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't matter which order you do it in. Whitebeard's only going to be an orb boost, and Aokiji's only going to be a type boost. Hit your perfects. Kill him before the 50%, because before hit 50%, he does enrage. And he revives to 1.3 million hit points. He will gain 50% damage reduction, or some kind of percent damage reduction for 2 turns, which is basically going to stop all the damage we're going to do for 2 turns. Shirahoshi for the heals. And then now, if you try to attack, depending on what color he is, you're really not going to do that much damage. If he's a good color here, you might be able to get some damage in, which does help. Get some damage in if you can. He's blue, so I'm really just not doing damage to him. And Aokiji does lock our orbs, so we do get to keep those rainbow orbs. No need to worry about it. But it doesn't matter what our orbs are, because Nekomamushi will give us better orbs. Don't attack with your Shirahoshi if you need that 10% damage reduction. Like, I know I need that 10% damage reduction, so I'm not going to be attacking with my Shirahoshi. Also just going to pass this turn. And then we're going to hope for either, once again, green or yellow on the next turn. Since he's yellow here, I need him to be green, so I will reset the game until he becomes green. So my Alvida and Nekomamushi deal extra damage to him. And then after that, Nekomamushi special boosts our attack, gives us all matching orbs, and burst him down. Works pretty well. Gotta be a little wary of your health once you get over to Kinemon, but with smart usage of your Shirahoshi and Alvida, you should be able to do fine. If you need more time to look for matching orbs before you do the burst, then use Shirahoshi first, because with Shirahoshi you will be able to heal up most of the damage every time he attacks you, and Alvida for one of the attacks after revive. Just be very careful how much health you are at whenever you kill him. And finally, a double Nekomamushi team for the Striker version. This is a pretty easy farming team. This is the one I use. Although I do use Kanjuro instead of Chinjiao. I find Kanjuro to be a lot nicer. I don't need the extra damage that Chinjiao gives us whenever we are bursting versus Kinemon. Using Kanjuro will help me give some orb manipulation that we can save our orbs with Aokiji. And that way we can use one Nekomamushi special versus Croc. Nekomamushi and Whitebeard specials versus Croc, and then Nekomamushi and Aokiji, or Kanjuro and Aokiji for Kinemon, and Mancherry or Shirahoshi if you have it for the revive. And that's all you need to do. Stall out 2 more turns, and then kill after that damage reduction barrier goes away. Guys, I've been Zenigami. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck with a Neo Kinemon. Sorry this is coming out so late. I have been sick. You might be able to hear me coughing during the video, so sorry about that. Love you guys, and y'all stay beautiful.